Hello darlings, thanks for joining me for today's video. Let's get straight to the point, shall we? Today I want to talk to you about domestic violence. I know I don't like talking about it, but we have to because it's just so important. And as you already know, I am a recovering domestic violence victim survivor. And I started my channel because I wanted to help others, as well as bringing awareness to domestic violence. But the message I want to talk to you today about is, I don't care, it doesn't matter. I am not going to let anyone or anything stop me from helping and supporting you and bringing awareness to domestic violence. And that includes my stupid ex-husband. I know you're watching. Because he keeps harassing and threatening me by my channel, emails, and social media. And a couple of days ago, he sent me I don't know if you can see it, these two emails. And in the emails, he's accusing me of lying, which I am not. All I'm doing is just using my personal experiences with domestic violence and my truth to get my messages across so I can help you to learn safety strategies if you're in a violent relationship, as well as learning how to leave a violent relationship safely, because there are ways to go about that. And he's calling me stupid, but he's the one who's stupid because he's the one who taught me everything that I'm teaching you. And I just want to say that in the emails he goes on to explain that if I kept going, like meaning if I kept bringing awareness to domestic violence, who's going to take me to court and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Whoopie-doo. Oh my God, so funny, isn't it? Because he cannot intimidate me anymore. I may be able to intimidate him, but he can no longer intimidate me. And I don't care what he says, what he does. I don't care how many times he harasses and threatens me. I won't let anyone or anything stop me from teaching you how to stay safe in your domestic violence relationship until you are safely out of it. And like I said before, how to be able to leave a safety relationship, and what to do and what not to do, and how to do things, and how to say things, and how not to say things, and when to stay silent, and blah, blah, blah. Because domestic violence is so important. We're in the 21st century now and it's still getting worse. Come on. It shouldn't be happening in the first place, should it? No, it shouldn't. So this is my message for today, that I just want to let you know that I will not let him try to stop me from helping and supporting all of you. Because I want to help people who are experiencing domestic violence or who may experience domestic violence in their future. Because if I can teach you, before you start a relationship with anyone, how to navigate a dangerous relationship safely, then if you begin a relationship with someone and they eventually turn out to be not the person who you thought they were, and they start to change and start to become violent, you will know when to leave, what to do, what not to do, how to say things, when to stay silent and all that. And I do not even mention his name. In my book, I've not mentioned his name. There's no surnames. I have changed names. The only time that his name is mentioned is when he goes onto social media and goes blah, blah, blah. So really, he's giving his own name up because I will never mention his real name. And I don't even mention my surname. So there you go. There you go, Zama. Well, he is. He really is, because everything that I am teaching you now, and like in my previous videos as well as in my future videos, like I said, is what I learned over the course of 22 years. And that's a long time, because he taught me all that. Like, he was the one who pushed the wall unit on top of me, injuring my spine. And then standing over me for half an hour or so saying, "Die, bitch, die, you dog, woof, woof." That's right, again, including the hell, which is typical of him. And then he walks out for half an hour or so and leaves me for dead with this heavy wall unit on top of me. And I'm like couldn't breathe because it was so heavy. And then when he came back into the room, he's still abusing me, repeating the same words all over again. I mean, I thought he was going to lose his voice from screaming. And, I mean, that's just one incident, and I can go on and on and on. But I learned so many things from all of this, you know. For example, I learned not to turn my back towards my abusive partner because he hit me on the head from behind with the strap of my handbag. And 9 o'clock that night, my left wrist started bleeding. So he hit me here, and I think it was about 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. And then 9 o'clock that night, my left wrist starts bleeding. And that was when I learned, okay, I can't turn my back towards him. And I thought, well, if I have to, then I figured out if I have to turn my back towards him, I'm still going to have to keep an eye on him somehow, because I don't have eyes in the back of my head. And that's when I realized, okay, mirrors and reflections in windows can be the eyes in the back of my head. And that's when I thought, well, how are we going to do this? And that's when I thought mirrors have a whole wall of mirrors, but not real mirrors, because they can break and they can cut you. But what I'm talking about is paper mirrors, which I've shown you before in previous videos. They look good, they're not expensive. If you're renting a place, they're ideal because they don't leave any marks on the wall when you take them down, and they look good too. So mirrors serve two purposes. The decor that looks good, so you have one wall in every room and hallway covered with those mirrors. And you can decorate them nicely as well. And the second purpose is for safety reasons, because they're going to be the eyes in the back of your head. Do you see what I mean? So I learned this all through what he has taught me over the course of 22 years. So therefore, all I'm doing is teaching you. And he's accusing me of separation violence. Now, how can it be that when it's not? Because what I'm doing now is bringing awareness to domestic violence and helping you and teaching you. And it's got nothing to do with him, because it's about me helping people and the generations of the future to learn how to be safe in their relationship. Because when you're in a violent relationship, you have to learn to be your own first responder. That's right, because look, I know we have the police and ambulance drivers and neighbours and people who are willing to help you, and social services as well as domestic violence services. But the thing is, not everyone can help you. And you don't want to be there before they get there to help you. And that has happened so many times in the past, and this is what I'm trying to prevent from happening in the here and now as well in the future. So therefore, it has got nothing to do with him. So if he wants to take me to court for speaking my truth and for teaching you what he taught me, then like I said, whoopee-doo, darling, you don't intimidate me anymore. And I have all the proof I need. I have doctor's records. So he only mentions what he wants you to know. He doesn't mention anything about how he doesn't mention anything about how he got bail from the magistrate court in Melbourne, for assaulting, stealing my wallet and for pushing my ugly mother to the ground. He only says what he wants to say, and he turns the story around to suit him, which is typical. And that's exactly what he said about his first family. He's just doing exactly the same thing. Because it's not just us, it's his first family too. Because when I first met him, he said to me that the reason why he had depression and anxiety was because he misses his kids, because he caught her cheating on him and she took off a little gator with the kids. Which is not true, but I did not know that at the time, though, because I had just met him. And back in those days, I was inexperienced at living life, and I was young and naive, not like now, where I am experienced at living life, and I know things, and I know that I can teach you many things and give you great advice, and I will continue to do that. This is my message that I'm trying to get across to you today. Now, he taught me that he worked for 10 years in a lighting factory making lamps and samplers. He went every day to work for 10 years, working in a freezing cold factory, never missing a day. And when he came on to be on long service leave, he got fired. Therefore, he went home early that day because he got fired, and he got her in bed with one of his friends. And that's how it all came about. However, that is not true. The reason why she left taking the boys was for safety reasons, because of his domestic violence and his drug abuse, just like with what happened to my son and I. You see, I did not realise when we were married at the time that it was just history repeating itself all over again. And if he ever has another relationship with someone else in the future, it will be the same pattern again. Just history repeating itself all over again and again and again. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. And I eventually learned that the real story is that he did work at a lighting factory in North Melbourne, but only for a brief period of time, because he left on his own accord, because he doesn't like to work. He would prefer to stay at home smoking dope or tea, just talking crap, which is all he does. And he uses violence to get his own way. He doesn't like not getting his own way. And what happened is that she never cheated on him. It was the opposite. He was always cheating on her, not him. And therefore, he told me he worked for 10 years in a lighting factory. And then I find out he didn't. It was only there for a brief period of time. So therefore, how can he leave? How can he be fired after 10 years because he came up to long service leave when it never happened? You see, that's what our relationship was based on. It was just all lies. They kept going into bigger lies and bigger lies and bigger lies. And all I'm doing now is not separation of separation violence or anything like that I'm causing. Like I said, it's got nothing to do with him. All I'm doing is just helping you, educating you and supporting you. Yes, you too. So that you can learn how to navigate a dangerous relationship safely before you start a relationship with anyone, so that if you find yourself in this situation, you will know how to handle yourself and save yourself and God. And have the confidence to be able to do that. In other words, it's like learning to, like when you want to go for your license and you have to learn how to drive a car and you have to go through all the bookwork. It's the same thing. But the only difference is that we're talking about relationships here, which is most important, because the common cause of death is domestic violence victims in domestic violence relationships, which outdoes both car accidents and suicides and drug overdoses. And this is why it's so important. We cannot ignore this situation any longer. So this is what it's about. It's got nothing to do with him. It's not about separation, violence, or anything. Like I said, if he wants to go to court, bring it on. Like I said, whoopie-doo. I mean, our family doctor, Dr. Pavlidis, who is still his doctor, he was the one who kept constantly telling me to leave him. He kept saying, you have to leave him because every time you come back, he will just hurt you again and again and again, and you will die in the end. And she was right, because every time I did come back, I did get hurt again and again and again. So it was Dr. Pavlidis who forced me to leave him, helped to force me to leave him, because he wanted to save my life, you see. And not only that, Dr. Pavlidis has a photo of me on his computer where I am in bruises and cuts all over my body, black, blue, and dark purple, from his abuse. Now, my mum took those photos and we showed him, and he took a photo of one of the photos which he has on his computer. And that because we have photos as evidence as well. And he doesn't know that. Well, my mum did tell him over the phone that we have photos. And I said there were no photos, because at that time I had to protect myself, because he could have used that as an excuse to hurt me seriously or kill me. I mean, if he's going to seriously hurt me and try to kill me over nothing and for no reason, imagine what he would have done to me if he had found out about those photos. You see what I mean? So you have to do whatever you can to protect yourself and to be able to feel a bit safer in your relationship. Because if you don't feel safe in your relationship, how can you feel happy? Because you have to be safe in your relationship to feel happy first. Okay, so I think I've said about everything that I wanted to say today. So that's my message for today. So don't worry. I don't care if he tries to get someone to kill me or whatever. I don't care. I will not let him. He can try to take me to court. I don't care. He will not let me stop helping you. My book will be available by Krangen and Amazon for sale towards the middle of this year, which I look forward to sharing with you then. But until then, thanks for joining me for today's video. It was great to see you all. I love you all so much. I don't love you though, you stupid ex. Of course not. I mean, how can you hurt someone who hurts you? It's simple. Okay, so I'll see you for my next video. Thank you, darlings. Take care and stay safe. I love you all. Bye-bye.